Well, it's official, guys. The DCEU finally has 3 genuinely good movies. This is coming from someone who can find enjoyment out of all the DCEU movies, including the not-so-good ones. Because while this movie does have problems, it's not as much as some of the past DCEU movies. So yes, guys, welcome to the video review for Shazam. And I'm going to throw a big spoiler down here on the bottom like usual, so that way if you have not seen the movie, then you don't need to watch this video, or if you don't care about spoilers or have seen the movie, you can stick around and we can talk about it. So here we go. So it starts off in 74, I think, with a young Dr. Sivana and his father and brother, and Dr. Sivana gets pulled before the wizard Shazam to see if he's worthy enough to gain his power, which he's not. He's tempted by the Eye of Sin and the 7 deadly sins, and he fails the test. He's put back in his father's car, and they get into a car accident, crippling his father. And he's blamed for it all those years. But in his adult life, he searches for a way to go back to the wizard and the 7 deadly sins. Fast forward to the present day, we have Billy Batson getting in trouble with police, trying to find his mother because he's put into foster care, and he's introduced to his new foster family, which is nice. One thing I'd like to say, the child actors in this movie are all really good. All the foster kids were good. The 2 bully kids, they did a good job looking like assholes. It's a well-done movie, and obviously the biggest shiner out of the whole group is the young man who plays Billy Batson. So Billy is hanging out with his new family. He goes to school the next day. His foster brother, Freddie, he's a disabled child. He walks around with a crutch. Is getting bullied by these 2 asshole kids that I just mentioned. And Billy protects him and then hops on the subway and then gets pulled in to see the wizard. Now before this, Dr. Sivana had just made his headway into getting back in to see the wizard. He takes the Eye of Sin and now has a lot of evil powers, forcing the wizard to pretty much just pick whoever the seeking spell brings in next, which is Billy Batson. So he gets the powers of Shazam. Zachary Levi, he did a great job as well, acting like a 14-year-old kid. It can be kind of difficult for an adult to act like a younger child, but I think Zachary Levi did a great job. Billy, in his Shazam form, goes to find Freddy at the house, and they figure out what his powers are at first. And they stop a couple criminals at a gas station from robbing it, and they find out that he's bulletproof, has lightning ability, he has super speed, and then later on we have a huge montage finding out what some of his other powers are, set to Don't Stop Me Now from Queen. Let me just say, that's one of my favorite Queen songs, and I'm very happy that it's in this movie. So there was a fun montage finding out what some of his powers are. There was a running joke that, he can't fly, but later in the movie when he fights Dr. Sivana, he actually learns how to fly. Learns how to fly. He just kind of starts flying, but it's okay. So Billy is kind of getting a little hot-headed with his powers. He's skipping school, just kind of taking selfies for money. He does this weird lightning show. At one point, accidentally, his lightning strikes the tire of a bus, causing it to crash through a bridge. It falls, but Billy actually catches it, and it's kind of a funny deal, because when the people were getting out, they're all thanking him. He's like, no, yeah, it's actually kind of my fault. So I thought that was really funny. So then after that, Billy and Freddie argue a little, and Dr. Sivana comes, and they have their fight where Billy learns to fly. They have a fight through a mall with a toy store, which has a bunch of DC toys in it, which is great. After losing Billy, because Billy, says Shazam and, hides among the people, Freddy gets captured and brings Dr. Sivana to their home, where they kidnap all the other foster kids, who at this point figured out that Billy is the superhero because he didn't really hide it all that well. And also, Darla found out at the beginning. Before Billy comes home to rescue them, he actually goes to see his real mom, who he's been searching for throughout the whole movie, but he couldn't find because she went under her maiden name. And when he finds her, respect for this actress, because I'm sure she's a nice person, but she does a well job at being a garbage person in this movie, because this mom admitted to abandoning Billy, saying like, oh yeah, you'd be better with them than you would be with me. Just like, you are garbage. But anyway, so Billy goes home to his home to find that the other foster kids are being held by Dr. Savannah and, the seven deadly sins, obviously. They go to the cave where the wizard gave Billy his power, where Dr. Savannah stole the Eye of Sin. And the doctor wants his power, but, Billy is resisting. The kids follow them in and help Billy distract him long enough so that way they can get out. They run back to the Philadelphia Carnival, which is happening again. They have a big fight with the seven deadly sins. He tells one of the sins to try to kill them, but Billy doesn't let them. It looks like Billy's about to give Dr. Savannah his power, but what actually happens is he takes the staff away from him and gives Shazam powers to all the other foster kids. And they help save the innocent people, and Dr. Savannah and Billy are having this fight on rooftops in the air, all that stuff. There's this funny moment where Dr. Savannah is giving this evil speech, and, when they're really far away, it doesn't seem like they can hear them. So they're like a mile away, like superhero shots, and he's giving this evil speech, and Billy's like, I can't hear you, bro. All I see is your mouth moving. And I thought that was really funny. So they have more fights on a rooftop, and 6 of the 7 deadly sins are out and about fighting the other kids at the carnival. And Billy, being smart this time, lures out the last deadly sin, which is envy, funny enough. So the doctor loses his power for a minute while Billy takes care of fighting that. That's when he's able to take the Eye of Sin out of his head, which is able to contain the sins and keep everyone safe from them. Another funny moment, once the sins are, in the Eye of Sin, Billy, tricks all of them. He's like, what's that? I can have everything I ever wanted? And it looks like he's going to put it in his own head, like he's going to be controlled. But he's just playing a joke. It's like, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. So, once again, the day is saved thanks to the Shazam. At the end of the movie, Freddy is sitting at a lunch table all alone. And his siblings come up. And Billy comes in his Shazam form. Is like, hey, Freddy, you did a good job teaching me how to be a cool superhero. And it's like, hey, I brought a friend with me, hope that's okay. And in walks fucking Superman. So, then there's 2 after credit scenes, funny enough. One with Dr. Savannah in a cell trying to get his power back, but it doesn't end up working. And then you hear talking, saying, oh, the 7 realms will be ours if you agree to help me. And he looks up and there's this worm up in, the windowsill or something like that. I didn't know this until my boss explained it to me. Apparently that's a character from DC called Mr. Mind. That'll be interesting to see in a Shazam sequel. And then the second after credit scene is just another part of them trying to find out Billy's power, seeing if he has Aquaman powers to talk to fish. And he's like, how is this a cool power? It's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you could command an ocean of sea creatures. And because Freddy's wearing an Aquaman shirt, so it helps explain this point. Billy's like, well, it's not that cool. Just kind of shitting on Aquaman one more time because that's kind of what everyone did for the longest time. But yeah, I really liked Shazam for what it was. It was actually a genuinely good DC movie, up there with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I still think my personal favorite of the DCEU is Aquaman, with Wonder Woman right behind. But Shazam is definitely number 3 out of those. And I think for a score, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Good job, DC. You did another one good. Anyway, that's been another video from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and can't wait to do more videos for you. This has been Zero One Trans Fan, the number 1. I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.